Good morning, everyone. Good, good to see all of you here. My name is David Hedison, and I'm with Choice Housing. I'm one of the co-sponsors of this development, along with SCG Development Group. And Keith McDonald is there. And Keith, raise your hand. He's the other partner here. We're a dynamic duo, and we're really happy to be here celebrating. So back in 1927, Henry T. Wing and his wife Clementine sponsored, bequeathed money to build this school. And it was a school for all ages. And it served the community. It became part of people's memory. It became part of this community. And when in the 2015s, around that time, they were looking for something to do with the school, fortunately, the idea for redeveloping it for housing came into play. Students, parents, coaches, countless members of the community had memories in this special place. Many of you here may have your own stories. And one of the things I want to share with you is we have one of the residents moving in. It's a couple. They met in the basketball court outside in the gym. And they married, had children, and they're moving into this development. And so often, I have this speech here, but I'd rather just talk to all of you because I want to just share heart to heart. Stratford Capital Development and Choice, we really cannot say thank you enough to the town of Sandwich. It's not just the town of Sandwich or the elected officials, the appointed officials, representatives who showed up at town meeting, the zoning board, former employees. They saw the potential of this school to become a home for over, at this point, phase one, over 30 seniors. I've been working in this field since I was 17 years old. I had big dreams to go work at a major consulting firm, but I met an elderly woman whose name was Bertha. I worked as a high school kid passing Bertha, in the sitting room, and she would tell me about her stories of how she was born in Portugal. Her husband served in World War I, and moving into affordable housing was one of the biggest joys for her because she was now alone. She could afford a safe place to call home, and she felt safe and surrounded by people that cared for her. What Sandwich did was tremendous because Bertha may not be with us, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of seniors that are out there in the community that are afraid of what their future holds. They're alone in their apartments or homes. Their children may have moved down to Florida or elsewhere, and some may not have had children. Here, it's like when kids start and go off to college, they move into their dorm room, and they're excited to find out who their next door neighbor is. They can share their stories for where they come from or what they hope for. And already we've seen with the 12 seniors that have signed up to actually moved in, they have realized they know each other, they have common history, and they're no longer alone. The first chapter of this building was thanks to Henry T. Wing and Clementine. They created an opportunity for kids to learn in a great school. The second chapter is the community. The town of Sandwich came out and decided this was going to be a place for seniors to call home. All of that is going to change the lives of not just 35 seniors. It changed the lives of their kids. It changed the lives of the feeling in the community to know that we're taking care of the people that took care of us. So, I'm just going to grab some water because I get almost emotional. I get emotional when I talk about these things. So when it was October 24th, 2019, Keith said to me, we're going down to Sandwich. We're going to make a presentation. Ralph Fatako is going to be there. We're going to, give them the full show. We're going to deliver the housing, the services, how we care for our seniors. And I was so excited about this opportunity. Ralph is here today, and I want to say, Ralph, thank you for shepherding this through early on. Those are the early days. And Heather, it was just something that I was so excited for. And the sad part is when we first say, like, we're going to do this project, the reality is it's always a 5 to 7 year process. This building for phase one is a $24 million project. We had to ask for help from the Community Preservation Committee for over $2 million. We had to ask for funding from Mass Housing, from the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, from, I think I said CDAC, Barnstable Community Home. Rennie, are you here? There you are. I got to give you a hug later. TD Bank, Stratford Capital. Because if we were going to build this place for $24 million and take a mortgage out, do you know what the rents would be in this place? The rents would be over $4,000 per unit. So we have to get in line, wait 5 to 7 years so we can secure $23.3 million so we can have a mortgage of only $700,000 so we can make the units affordable. What does that look like? EOHLC, our state agency, opens the door once a year, pretty much, for projects of this size. We all line up and we say, please, please, please. Our project is special. Our project is special. And that typically takes somewhere between 2 to 3 rounds to get them to say yes. Thankfully, we did it. We made it. And I'll just tell you, it's not for the faint of heart. Ralph, I remember there was a message that came through when town meeting actually said they approved the option on this building. And he said something along the lines, now the fun starts. And I'll tell you, from 2020 to 2025, have we had a lot of fun. And it's always stressful because you're all anxious to get the seniors to move in. And we wanted it to happen 3 years ago. But the reality is today, it's very difficult. We have 2 legislators represented today, Representative Zarhos,
Yes.
okay, and Jack Richardson, I was close, from Senator Fernandes' office. And I want to say thank you for your work at the state level, because you've done amazing work on making sure funding is available for projects like this going forward. It's important to have our support at the state. I'm not going to talk much longer, but I want to just recognize, Keith and I, we have dreams, we partner with communities, but who are the people that are actually doing all the work that we're relying on? There are trusted partners that work with us when costs go through the roof, when tariffs are hitting us, when there's a delay on something. And I want to say thank you, Icon Architecture, who has helped us design all of our beautiful buildings and preserve this beautiful historic place. Delbert Construction, how many of you, blood, sweat, and tears, have been here working your off, making sure this building was done and done beautifully? Halkeen Management, our property management partner, they put together this beautiful event today, and they're going to be managing this going forward and taking care of our residents day in and day out. CHA Companies, who worked on our civil, and that he knows how important it is that the civil is right, because as soon as some melting occurs and ice freezes on the parking lot, we don't want to see Mary or Paul or Bob slip on some ice. So he knows how tough we are, and he's always come through. There's so many more people like Sydney Property Management who helped us. Sydney Management, who oversaw the construction. I'm not going to say much more until we wrap it up at the end, but I'd like to invite Heather Harper up on behalf of the town assistant town manager to speak. Thank you.
Good morning. It's great to see all of you here today. And it's my distinct privilege and honor to speak on behalf of the town of Sandwich on this truly historic day. I will not be as extemporaneous as David. I have some key people I want to recognize. This project is perhaps like no one other in our recent history. It reflects the heart of our community. It's a story of change, of vision, and most important of all, courage. The courage to reflect on where we've been, the courage to imagine where we can go. As local government officials, our job is often about fundamental services, education, public works, public safety, infrastructure, recreation. But we're also caretakers. We're called upon to make decisions that will outlast us to leave this place better than we found it. I've been lucky enough to be a caretaker during the easier part. The heavy lifting was done by others, and at moments they were far more difficult. It took courage to close a beloved village school. In 2016, the school committee made hard decisions. Superintendent Richard Canfeld said words some of you will remember. "I can't foresee us here next year." They were honest, they were necessary, and they echoed through the community that for generations sent students to school, taught here, volunteered here. When the building was transferred to the select board the next year, the same year, it was in exceptionally poor condition. In 2015, a reuse study laid out options for reuse that ranged from almost $4 million to just demolish most of the site and restore, to $72 million to fully restore the property. Many ideas were floated: municipal use, a senior center, some of them with eye-watering costs. And yet this community said in a survey, "Let's keep it." 52% of the respondents said, "Let's keep this building." That led to a moment of real courage by a past select board. Frank Panorfi, Susan James, who is here, Peter Bushman, Patrick Ellis, and Ralph Fataco, who said, "Let's test the private market." Stratford Capital Group responded to that call with a proposal to preserve the 1927 Wing School building and to create rental housing that this community so desperately needs. It's not just development, it's preservation and progress. It brought together a remarkable team who stuck with us through the pandemic, through building code changes, through cost escalation, energy code changes, led by Keith McDonald and Stratford Capital Group, again with Icon Architecture and CHA, the civil engineers, and David and his group, along with Pat Finn and Del Brooks Scanlon. So thank you all for being here. We also want to thank our current select board for their continued leadership. Charles Holden, Chair; Vice Chair Robert George, Class of 1970; Patrick Ellis, Class of 1971; Shane Hochter, David Sampson, and the late Michael Miller, Class of 1970, who we lost almost a year ago. He would have been the proudest among us here today. Today we not stand just in front of a building, but inside a story about what happens when a town comes together over time to honor the past and embrace the future. To the residents who will call this place home, welcome. On behalf of those who came before you, thank you for becoming part of the next chapter. This place has many more stories to tell, and we're honored you'll be part of them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Heather. Next up, can we invite Jack Richardson up from Senator Fernandes' office?
Thank you. Good morning. Yeah, my name is Jack Richardson. I'm here on behalf of Senator Fernandes and the Senate. Also, just want to give a thanks to Sandwich Community Television for being here today. Thank you for all the work you guys do. Yeah, this shows, and David touched on this a little bit, the state and the legislature's commitment to funding affordable housing projects. You know, significant tax credits were given to this project that made this possible. In addition to my work for Senator Fernandes, I'm on the select board in Falmouth, and this is an example of what I want to push for in Falmouth. The Cape is seeing declining school populations, and this is exactly what we need to be doing. You know, there's no better way to really preserve our wildlife in our nature while meeting the needs of multiple generations who have been priced out of the market. This is an exact model of what we need to do. And, you know, I grew up here, and I remember, you know, playing out back on the fields, and I'm so glad that that's going to continue to be the use for those fields. And the way that the number of, what I always like to point out is, you know, look at the amount of people who are contributing to this and will continue to be involved. So, you know, to keep it brief, this is really an example of the direction that Cape Cod should continue to go with. And congratulations to everyone for the hard work put in to make this a reality. Thank you.
All right. Next, I'd like to welcome up our representative.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank you. Your remarks were from the heart, and I appreciate that. You people over there, you're some of the workers that helped build this place. Come up with me. Stand up here. Come on up. Come on up.
Come on in.
Please stand behind me. Stand behind me. And where is Bobby George? Come up here, please. You went to school here? Yeah, that's pretty special. And Ralph. Come on up, Ralph. This is a great day. So all of your remarks are very important. I work in the People's House. I've been there 3 days this week. What a beautiful building in Boston, right? The history, the feeling, the passion. I'm proud to be your state representative. To be here today, it feels like that. Like you're in a historic building where this guy went to school, and for generations, people did. And now you're offering a beautiful home, right? The story that you told touched my heart. That's real. It's not always about money, right? I serve on the Ways and Means Committee. That's the most powerful committee in the Commonwealth. Our budget for 1 year, does anyone know what the state's budget is for 1 year? It's $64 billion for 1 year. So money obviously is important. We release it from the state like Jack talks about, but you got to earn it, and you did. And look what you did with it. You're changing people's lives. Not only the ones that live here, right, but their kids. It's so important. I'm on the board of directors for Habitat for Humanity. That does that too. When you can provide a home, a place to live for someone that probably wouldn't have one, it changes their lives forever. So I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be your state representative. These are the days that we enjoy. And I can't wait to look around. I can't wait to do a Facebook Live and show everybody, because you got to show it off. And I would end with the town of Sandwich needs the credit. Heather, Bud, the chief, Holden, the select board that was before, like you mentioned, Heather. This is not easy to do, to put the pieces together, but you did it. And this is a day to celebrate, because we are Cape Cod. We are the 5th Barnstable District, and we are the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And this is our 250th birthday. We started America, and men and women from Sandwich fought for it in the Revolutionary War. Some of them are resting in peace right around the corner. So it's a beautiful place to be. I love it. I'm proud of you. And I congratulate and thank the people that do all the hard work. So thank you very much. Bye back.
I just want to say one thing, that when this started, we took pictures on the front steps. I graduated in 1970. That door was our senior classroom, and Mike Miller was our class president. And Mike's no longer with us, but this is for Mike. Thank you.
There you go.
So again, not scripted. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of going out to one of my developments, and the development's been there for over 25 years. I have a hard time sometimes going to visit the residents because so many have passed that I've really just loved. A resident came out and she said to me, "David, is that you?" And I said, "Yes, it's me." She'd been my resident for 25 years. She is one of my original tenants. And she said to me, "Thank you. These have been the best years of my life here." And it really, I felt, I just wanted to cry, because sometimes when we open these buildings, it's about the money, it's about delays, it's about the colors, it's about some of the politics. But what it comes down to is really the lives of the residents. And I have a letter from one of the residents moving in. And she said, "Our first date, we played basketball outside. at the gym, a beautiful memory. We began our lives together, and we would love to have many, many more years to come. And to the residents here, whether it's 5, 10, 15, or 20, have fun, enjoy yourself. You're loved, you're cared for. And we have phase 2 coming and phase 3 coming. More to come and more to celebrate. So everyone, we have some tours set up. You get to see some of the units and just to see what a beautiful place we have here. And all of you remember, together we can take care of our neighbors, our communities, and each other. And that's all it takes. An act of kindness and patience. Thank you.